friends, it's Christy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to bring you my March art journaling spread. I don't know, I just really felt the need to, sink myself into an art project where it's not all planned out and just kind of go with the flow and kind of see how it's going to turn out. I don't know, we'll get into it a little bit more as the video goes on, but first I wanted to show you what I have pulled out. Of course, my art journal that I'm working in, I will have it linked down below in case you're interested in this one. It is a small art journal, but I really love the size of it. I also have some washi tape as usual. I have some pattern papers that I've pulled out. I've got a few little bits of ephemera here. I've got some vintage paper, a little postage stamp, and a washi tape sticker. I've got my Tim Holtz Small Talk that I use for my titles. And then for this month, I have a little postcard from the Georgia Aquarium that I went to while I was on vacation. I'll talk about the vacation as well as I get into creating. I'm probably just going to use this little part here that has the Georgia Aquarium symbol because the shark doesn't really go with the theme for today. So that's the part that I really wanted to include. So there we have it. So that's it. That's all I've pulled together. As usual, I may pull in some more supplies. I may not even use all of these. We'll just kind of see where today's creation takes us. So I'm going to set everything off to the side and we'll get started. Alright, so I am going to open up my art journal. This was the January spread with the adorable little polar bears. And then for February we had the red squirrels and the Happy Mail theme. So here we are going to open to March. Today is March 1st. As I am filming this, I'm just going to grab a little bulldog clip to clip this page here together to kind of hold it down since it's a little more top heavy on this side. And then I'm going to start as usual by laying down some washi tape and just protect that spine area. If you don't want to, your mediums may seep down inside your book, and if that doesn't bother you, that's totally fine. I really don't like that look. And also, I'm working in a book that has perforated pages, so if they were to get really wet, they may start to separate. So to avoid that, I'm just going to lay down some washi tape that's going to help seal that spine and keep anything from leaking through. So I'm just going to add that, and it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. It just needs to do the job, which it will. And I may have to grab some scissors for that end. It's not wanting to tear. So here we have some extra, and I am just gonna put that down wherever. I really don't have much of a plan at all today. I've got a lot of things going on, and I really just wanted to chat with you guys and kind of update you on some stuff. And when I do my regular card making videos, they don't really allow for too much chatting because I'm trying to explain the technique or the coloring process or whatever. And that's the thing I really love about this art journaling foray, is that I'm able to chat with you guys a little bit more and just kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's more like chatting with friends, and I don't know, I kind of need that right now. So I'm glad you guys are here. I hope that you're excited. I hope that you are gonna either work along with me. If you're gonna art journal as well, you can grab your books, or if art journaling is not your thing, that's totally fine too. We can just hang out together and you can do whatever you need to do, whether that's you know, card making, coloring, doing the laundry, working out, whatever you need to do. I just want to kind of hang out together today. So just laying down now a few pieces from this little washi tape roll. I've shared all of this stuff in haul videos previously, so if you haven't seen those, you can check them out. A lot of this layer is going to get covered up. I don't know what I'm doing right now, honestly. I'm just trying to get started, and for people like me who are super planners and like to have everything figured out before you start, the hardest part is just getting started. And so to kind of like override my brain, I'm just laying stuff down wherever I think it should go. No right or wrong, just kind of like sticking things down and seeing, you know, how it's going to work out. And, you know, the page is going to evolve and change as I go along, and that's totally fine. I'm expecting that, and I'm not worried about it. I'm not going to be too precious about, you know, covering things up. And I don't know, maybe like one more piece over here. And I think that's probably good for the washi tape. See, some of it I'm even laying down on the side, even though it has words on it. That's fine as well. This isn't meant to be read. It's just, you know, like an overall view. Do I need to zoom in a touch? I think maybe I do. Hold on one second. Is that a little better? I hope so. I still want you to be able to see the things that I'm going to be doing off to the side, so I don't want to get in too close, but hopefully that gives you a little bit better of a view. All right, so what's next? I think I'll start laying down some of this ephemera here, and also this piece from the Georgia Aquarium. I think I'm just going to tear that off and add that somewhere where it won't get completely covered up. I'm just going to tear the bottom edge as well so that it's a little bit more organic and not so like straight. So there's that, and I'm going to use some Elmer's Craft Bond Extra Strength Glue. So far, this is what I've been using this whole time, and it's been working really well, so I'm pretty pleased with it. So just in case you're new to my channel, I am a complete beginner at art journaling. This is my first art journal, so this is my third ever spread, but it's something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and I'm so happy that I finally took the plunge, because it's just been really freeing, and I don't know why I waited so long. But anyway, I'm doing it now, and it's never too late to start something new. Alright, so let's see. Maybe we'll stick this little postage stamp down. So how are you guys doing? I hope that you're doing well. I know there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now, and it's hard times for a lot of people. So I hope that you're okay. I hope that the people that you love are okay as well. Yeah, so anyway, all right, so let's talk about vacation. The last I left you, I was leaving on vacation. Actually, by the time that that video went up, the February spread went up on Valentine's Day, and that was the day that we were actually returning home from vacation. So I did have to kind of pre-film stuff. I'm going to tear that in half because I don't want it to look like a bunch of flowers. I just kind of want it as an accent. So I'm just going to use it in two pieces, just for little touches of stuff here and there. I don't know, maybe there. And I'm not thinking too hard about it, guys. I'm just gonna stick stuff down today because Like I said, I don't really have a plan. I just felt the need to create something without stress and to chat with you guys. So I hope you guys are up for that. So vacation. So what my family did was we drove down to Florida. The first stop that we made was in Georgia. We stopped in Atlanta and visited the Georgia Aquarium, which is someplace that I've been wanting to go for a really long time. I love whale sharks, and the Georgia Aquarium is one of the only aquariums in the world that has them. It's the only one in the United States, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I love aquariums. I've been to Ripley's in Toronto a few times. That one is incredible as well. If you ever get a chance to go there, highly recommend. Like I said, I've been there a few times because I just love it so much. But the Georgia Aquarium was really cool too. It just has so many cool aquatic animals and fish and all of that stuff. I don't know, just this one is not really for the words necessarily. It's more just for that's too close to that. Maybe down here. I don't really care about the words. It's more just like the scroll work and stuff. So a lot of that will probably get covered up. And then I have this one. So yeah, Georgia Aquarium was our first stop. By the way, I chose this one because it says Sunshine Biscuits, and my husband's nickname for me is Sunshine, so I thought that would be a fun touch. And my camera just reset, so I had to stop that. But anyway, plus we were headed to Florida where we were hoping to get some sun, so I thought that that would be a fun touch to add in here. Okay, so we stayed at the in Atlanta and visited the Georgia Aquarium, and then we continued driving down to Florida, and we went to Captiva Island. It's actually, Captiva is one half of an island, and Sanibel is the other half. I had never been there before, but it was absolutely gorgeous, stunning. I would go back again in a heartbeat. We had such a great time. We rented a house, my brother and his wife and 2 children, and my dad and stepmom and us. So there was a good amount of people there, but it was a lot of fun, and we just kind of hung out at the house. And what else did we do? We did we drove into, what was it called? Immokalee or something like that. I'm probably saying that wrong. And we did a wildlife airboat ride. That was really cool. We saw a lot of alligators and birds and turtles and stuff like that. That was really cool. On Captiva, our house was in a really great location, so it was like walking distance to a lot of restaurants and some shops. There was an ice cream parlor down the street, souvenir shops, all kinds of stuff. And then the opposite way down our street, there was a private beach access. So it was like perfect. We could kind of keep to ourselves and visit the beach. There was fun stuff to do because we had all ages from 3 years old all the way up to, you know, my dad and stepmom. So there was a lot to do for everyone, and that was really cool. So super fun. If you ever get a chance to go, it was absolutely gorgeous. Our only maybe like not a regret, but if we could change one thing, I think we went just a little bit too early. The weather was not that warm. I ended up wearing most of the clothes that I had brought for the way down and the way back home while I was down there. I wore sweatshirts a couple days. It was like in the 50s and low 60s, so would have liked it to be 10 degrees warmer, but other than that, I can't complain. It was gorgeous. All right, so next I am going to work on my focal image, which is going to be these beavers today, for a couple of reasons. The main one being that my life has just been so insanely busy, prepping for that vacation, pre-filming all of that, the videos, and turning in projects to the design teams I'm on. And then since I've been back, it's also been insanely busy just playing catch up, and then some other stuff that we'll get into in a little bit. But I've been so busy, and we have this expression in English, busy as a beaver, so I thought that this would be appropriate. Also, it's still very snowy here in Pennsylvania. My yard is still completely covered, so I thought that this would be appropriate, and it's probably my last chance to use like a snowy image because, well, at least till the end of the year for sure, because I'm over it. I'm so over the snow. I am just so ready for spring. But anyway, I thought, you know, before I lose the chance, that I would go ahead and work with these guys today. So I'm just trying to decide like what part. I do think I want this tree. I like this strip at the top, but I think I might just tear it off so I can add it separately. So I'm just going to hang on to that off to the side. And then I'm going to round off this tree a bit. And I do like this splatter, but I don't want that hard edge of the paper. My fingers are all sticky from the glue stick already, so it's a little bit tricky to tear the paper, but I think that's gonna be better. And I think I'm gonna lose like this building here. I don't really want that, so I'm gonna take that off, and then maybe just come down the side here and just trim that off as well. Maybe take off a little bit from the bottom. And you could certainly like take your scissors and cut this out as well, like I did with the polar bears. But again, just like with the last page, these Bella papers, no, what are they called? Ciao Bella papers. This is the paper pack here that I'm using. The name on it, oh, The Gift of Love from Ciao Bella. These are 6x6, so the images are a bit smaller, and yeah, I think the images are a bit smaller. And you know what, I'm going to tear off this tree and I'll add that separately. The images are a bit smaller. I'm realizing that I kind of preferred the 8x8 papers because I got this nice big focal image here, whereas on the 6x6 I had much smaller ones, and this as well. So that's just something. The 6x6 definitely work, since this is basically a 6x6 notebook, but I think it's actually 5.5 by 5.5. But it's, I think I prefer in general the larger focal image, so I will keep that in mind as I shop in the future for new paper pads to use. Alright, let's see. I think it's gonna just fit. I may have to take off just a touch more over here so that it my book can close and the spine isn't too full. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. So yeah, as I said, if you get a chance to go to Captiva or Sanibel, it's a wonderful place to vacation. Our house was perfect for the amount of people we had. There was just plenty to do. I would definitely go back again. We also found out that Tom Hanks has a house on Captiva. So while we were there, we were kind of looking around at the different houses and trying to speculate which one might be his. We don't know for sure, but it was kind of fun to just kind of look around and see which one might be it. But there's lots of beautiful houses there. and lots of affordable places as well. I think in general the island is fairly pricey, as most vacation places are. The cost of like groceries and stuff was definitely higher than back here in Pennsylvania, but you know, that comes with vacation a lot of times, so it wasn't like a deal breaker for us. All right, so the reason I tore this tree off is because there is this ship here, and on my first page I also used the ship, and it ended up getting covered up by the polar bear, and so it disappeared, and that was fine. But there's a reason why I want to leave it today, and that's because on the way home from Captiva, we actually stopped in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and we went to the Titanic Museum, which was incredible. So I want to leave that ship there to kind of represent that part of the vacation. Even though this isn't a vacation themed spread, I still want to incorporate things from my life, and you know, the vacation was my most recent life update, or you know, kind of. So I just want to make sure that I'm including different things like that. So I wonder if that will fit in there. I might actually just, this is kind of crazy, but I think I'm gonna just tear this tree in half, and that way I can add it in that crack, because that's really where I want it to go, and it won't be as bulky maybe if I adhere it on either side of that spine. So let's try it. If not, I can always cover it up with some gesso. So yeah, so that was my vacation. Was just wonderful to get away, and I got to sit and read and kind of de-stress. I don't know, I just am always stressed out in my life, and to be able to go there and not really have to worry about a lot of things. And I'm just going to tear off a little bit of this so that some of that underneath part is still showing. So do I want to add that anywhere? I don't know. Just stick it down there. Yeah, it was nice to get away. I read, I think, a total of 4 books, including 2 audiobooks on the road. And I started 3 others. I finished 1 while I was there and started 2 more. So yeah, that was my ultimate, that's my ultimate relaxation, is, you know, being able to, kind of like that, to just sit and read and not stress too much. And yeah, it was really, really good. Just add that right over there. All right, and then I've got a couple other papers that I pulled aside. I pulled this one aside not for this image here, although it's super adorable, more for like the plants. I thought that might be a nice thing. I also like this piece up there with the kind of, I'm not sure what that is, but looks like the Arctic or Antarctic or something like that, a map. And then I have a couple of different like wood grains, and then just some other pieces that I thought I might want to incorporate. So I think I'll tear this piece out. And kind of find a place for that to go. So since I've been back from vacation, February was a real roller coaster for me. I was the really high ups with the vacation, and then some really low downs with my health. So for one, I haven't mentioned this to you guys, but I actually have had something going on for quite some time, which is, I thought it was carpal tunnel. because both my mom and my grandma had to have the surgery, but my whole arm from here into my hand, I'm in intense pain every single day, every moment of every day. And I finally was able to get, my old doctor was no longer seeing patients because of COVID. She went to televisits, so I had to get a new doctor, and that took some time. But I finally saw her once I got back, and it's not carpal tunnel, it's severe tendonitis. So I'm going to have to figure out how to take care of that and what I can do about it. But like, it hurts a lot when I write, when I color. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. And I just kind of take pills and push through it because I don't want to stop crafting, and it's been kind of a scary time not knowing what is going to happen. But yeah, that actually turned out to be the least of my worries, because I also found out when I met with my new doctor that my diabetes is really out of control. I have known that I was a diabetic for a few years now, but I was just trying to manage it with diet and, you know, some medication, some pills and stuff like that, but it's not working. My body is no longer producing insulin, so I'm going to have to start injecting myself with insulin daily, and it's just such a mess. I hate needles so much, and it's going to be a big part of my life now, and I also have to make even stricter dietary changes and start exercising, which I admittedly don't do. I'm always so busy crafting or, you know, working, and if I have any free time, then I want to be reading, and all of those things are sedentary. You know, you're not being active, your body's not getting, you know what, I think I'm just going to tear this in half because I don't have room for all of it. So those flowers are going to get covered up, but that's okay. Yeah, it's going to be a huge lifestyle change, and I probably don't even know all the changes that are coming because I have to meet with a dietitian on next Tuesday, and they want to like re-educate me because I was kind of going through different doctors. I just was getting passed from doctor to doctor because my doctors kept like leaving the practice and going on to other things. It was just, I got unlucky that way, and so I never really had anybody sit down and explain things to me the way that should have been done. I'm going to use a little bit of the back side of this. It has that cable knit that I think is really cool. Just to kind of add some more texture in there. So yeah, that's what's going on with me, and it's really hard to stay upbeat when you've got all this stuff, all this bad news just hitting you left and right, you know. So between the tendonitis and the diabetes, I really don't know what's going to happen, but I don't plan to stop crafting, so I wouldn't worry about that yet anyway. But I don't know. We'll see how life goes, I guess. Like I said, I don't even know all the changes that are going to happen yet, but I definitely am going to have to start being more active and being much more careful about what I eat, and you know, injecting myself every single day with the insulin, which I was dreading. Like, that was the one thing that I was terrified of and wanted to avoid and hoped I'd never had to do, but here we are. And it's no longer avoidable. So yeah, so anyway, I don't know. I just thought I would share that with you guys, give you kind of like an update on what's going on with me. Like I said, when I'm filming the regular videos, we don't really get the chance to talk like this. So, yeah, I just kind of needed to let you guys know what's going on, and I don't know, maybe just get it off my chest a little bit and talk it out with somebody. So thanks for being here for me, guys. I really appreciate it. I don't know if any of you guys have gone through something like this before. You can leave me some advice down in the description bar, or in the comment section, I mean. And I don't know, I'm just super depressed about the whole situation. But I guess, you know, that's to be expected. It's not, I don't know. You wouldn't think that, like, food could be like such a huge issue or something, but I don't know, it is. I cook all the time, you know. I cook every day except two. I cook 5 days a week for my family. 1 day is leftovers, and 1 day we do something else to give me a break. And I bake. I'm always the one who brings desserts to every function. You know, I'm known for my cheesecake and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's just, it's like, I don't know, it feels like kind of a death sentence, even though that's a bit extreme. I know there's worse things going on in the world, of course, and I feel guilty for even like being depressed about it, and having a hard time with it, but it is what it is, you know. Everybody has their own struggles, and they're hard to deal with, no matter, you know, how insignificant they might be to other people, I guess, or something. I don't know. I don't think I like that one there. Alright, so I have this piece that has this bit of wood here that I thought might be kind of fun to use as a little bit of a border. And I should not have said it's a death sentence. The death sentence is if I don't follow the doctor's orders. I mean, then it really could be my life, you know. So I have to take this very seriously. And, you know, before the death, it would be, I would lose my vision, which would be horrible. Or I could lose, you know, my feet or something like that, legs, end up in a wheelchair. So I have to take this seriously. Obviously, you know, diabetes is a serious life-threatening condition, and I'm just going to have to be way more on top of it than I have been, and make these changes. You know, I don't really have a choice. I'm a mom, and I have 3 children, and even though they're getting older, they still need me around, and you know, I don't want to go anywhere either. You know, I want to be here. So I just have to accept what the doctors are telling me and do it, even though it really sucks. And like I said, you know, I don't even know what all it means yet. You know, what am I going to have to give up to make room for these changes? Because the exercise and the, you know, different meal planning, all of that stuff takes time, and I am such a busy person all the time. I don't have a lot of free time, and I'm gonna have to give up stuff to make room in my life for it, you know, and I don't know what all I'll have to give up yet, but I don't know, I guess I'll just have to make those decisions as they come and see. I don't know. Hopefully once I meet with the dietitian next week, I will have a little bit of a better idea of what I need to do. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and cover up this Eiffel Tower, because that really doesn't have anything to do with this spread. So cover that up. And then, anyway, I hope that this isn't like totally bumming you guys out. I know my last video, I wasn't super upbeat because I was so stressed about the storm that was coming, and we had to leave for vacation a day earlier than we planned. So I had so much to do to get ready for that, and so I was really stressed out and trying not to let it show, but I know that it bled into, you know, just the way that I was talking and not being super upbeat like I typically am. So, and now this one, it's like all this bad news about my health and stuff, and I don't know, but that's what's going on in my life, you know. I can't really, I mean, I could hide it from you guys and pretend it's not going on like I have been with my wrist. This has been going on since September, so it's almost 6 months now, or yeah, about 6 months. And I haven't really, well, it's not that I was hiding it from you guys, I didn't really have an opportunity to talk about it. I thought about it in the other art journaling videos, if I should say something, but you know, there were other things I wanted to talk about, and I especially wanted to encourage the beginners to start art journaling and stuff like that, so I didn't want to just like get all personal on you guys. But I don't know, today felt like, I don't know, like I said, I just really needed to express some things, I guess, and yeah, so I hope you guys don't mind. I won't be like this all the time, I promise. I don't want to be so negative or anything like that. It's just, I'm just having a hard time right now, that's all. So, it'll get better, right? It has to. So, can't get much worse. No, just kidding. There's a lot of worse things that could be going on. So, I am grateful that, you know, I'm at least in a country that's not being ravaged by war right now, or, you know, oh, so many other things going on. It's just unbelievable and heartbreaking, and it makes me feel guilty, you know, for being depressed over my situation. But yeah, anyway. Alright, enough of that talk. Let's move on. I'm still just kind of filling in here and seeing how things go. I'd like something with a little more variety, though. Maybe some of this paper here. Let's try some of this with the wood grain texture. Just peeling off the straight lines, as always. I don't know why, I just really prefer the torn edges. I think it makes it look a lot softer and just helps everything blend in together a bit more. And the gesso that I will add will help with that as well. Okay, yeah, I kind of like that. I think something up here, I don't want to cover up that ship like I said, but I feel like it just needs some more pops or something. So how have you guys been doing? I would really love to know down in the comments what's been going on with you. Have you started art journaling? And how is it going if you have? And yeah, if you are posting some spreads on Instagram, please tag me. Just Christy, it's Crafty. Tag me on Instagram so that I can see them, because I would love to see what you guys have been doing. I know Caitlin from Caitlin Annalee Crafts, I think is her handle on Instagram. She has been art journaling, started it since I started, and her pages are amazing. So if you don't follow her on YouTube or Instagram, you should go check out her posts because they look really, really cool. She's doing more of like a card maker's approach and using her stamps, and it's a really, really cool look. Maybe something in there. So I think I'm about done with the pattern paper, and my next step is going to be some gesso and just kind of softening the edges and stuff. So I'll be doing that in just a bit. Ugh, my fingers have gotten so sticky. Let's see. I might cover up a little bit more of that because I don't know that I need all of those words and stuff. I feel like that makes it stand out too much. I'm more concerned with the symbol there of the Georgia Aquarium. So yeah, I like that better. And I think I still need something right there. Let's see if I've got a little scrap of something. Maybe some more of that texture. So yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys have been up to, what kind of things, projects you've been working on. And yeah, like I said, if you've been art journaling, please tag me because I would love to see those projects and leave you guys some love like you've been leaving for me on my videos. And just kind of going through my scraps here and seeing what else might work. Just kind of break up some of these edges. So I think I want to add something else right here. Even though I like how this collage part is looking, I really like how these edges have a bit of texture from the torn pages, and this one ended up being all kind of straight. So I think I'm going to add something over part of that, maybe not all of it, and just kind of break up that hard line on the edges there, just so it fits a little bit more with the rest of the style of the page. And I'm thinking right here as well, and just adding that little bit of almost like a deckled edge around the pages. All right, so I'm ready for my gesso. Just gonna shake it up good. I'm using Pro Art gesso, but you can use any white gesso. And oh, see, with the tendinitis, it makes it so hard to even like open containers and everything. But anyway, I got some, so I'm just going to use what's in the cap there, and my finger. You can use a brush if you prefer, and I'm just going to kind of add it and try to blur some of the lines between all of the little pieces. If you just heard a groan, that was Gemma yawning. She wanted to be in my craft room. When I went to wash my hands, she snuck in, and that's okay. I don't mind having her here, but you may hear some little noises. I always have to, you know, shut her out when I'm doing voiceovers and stuff. Usually when I'm filming, there she goes again. When I'm filming, I let her in because I do the voiceover later on anyway, but for these, you know, I don't do the voiceover. So yeah, I didn't have the heart to shut her out. So hopefully you guys don't mind, and hopefully she won't be too noisy. Alright, so yeah, I'm just working my way around, kind of adding a little bit here and there, and then just kind of tapping with my finger to soften up any edges, you know, and lay down a thin layer of it so that you know, I'm not blocking things out completely, although if you want to, if you have something that you don't like, you can certainly lay it down a little bit heavier. But for me, I mostly want to, like, it's almost like filtering the edges of all the little separate little papers and making everything seem just a bit more cohesive. So anywhere that I feel like an edge is just standing out a little bit too much. I don't want it on my beaver though, so stay off, you gesso. And oh, by the way, I did add down 2 more strips right here because the paper didn't go all the way to the bottom, and I decided that I wanted it to, so it matched the other edges. So I did add just two little strips that I was about to throw away. I just glued those down right here, one of the wood grain and then one of, I think it might have been part of this beaver paper, but just like, I think it was the top edge, and I just turned it on its side. So I do want to mute down this stamp a little bit because it is a lot darker than the other colors that we've got going on in this palette. So I will add a little bit more gesso and a heavier coat there. And if it's too much, I can just wipe some of it away before it dries with my finger. Also, this little flower stamp, it ended up being a bit darker than what's going on in this background, so just kind of muting that a bit. And yeah, just working my way around. And you know, there's no right or wrong for this. It's just whatever, until it looks good to you, you know. So if you don't want all your pieces to be more blended together, you want them to stand out a bit more, you don't even necessarily have to add it, but I do think it helps your whole page just look more cohesive. I think otherwise it's just a little bit disjointed, but it really depends on what papers you're using and all of that as well. But yeah, you can do it however you want to. There's no right or wrong. So don't feel like you have to do it exactly like me, but if you want to, that is absolutely fine too. So I'm just going to mute some of that wording and that little barcode down as well. Let's see. I'm going to mute some of this down too, and even let a little bit of that go over the ship, because I don't want it to be like in your face. I just want it to be like another little thing that you kind of discover as you look around the page, almost like those hidden picture books. If you remember those, I loved those when my kids were small because it kept them occupied. Usually they needed assistance, you know, to be directing them, you know, what to look for and what to find, but it did keep them occupied quite, you know, a good time. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, like the little hidden pictures of different things, like the ship and the aquarium piece especially, but also like the stamp, and there's a little bit of that washi tape sticker right there. There you can still see the sunshine part up there. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want to almost reveal to the viewer, although the viewer is most likely only yourself unless you're sharing it on social media or someplace. But if you want to keep your art journal private just for you, that's absolutely fine too. It's for you, you know. I said that in my earlier videos, you know, the card making is really for others. You know, you get the enjoyment out of making the card, but then you send them out, and hopefully you do send them out because, you know, that way it gets to bless someone else. So it's really for them, you know. Especially the ones that we make with someone else in mind, like birthday cards or thank you card, thinking of you cards and all of that. But the art journaling, that's just for you. You know, that's your space to create and be free and do what you want and not have anybody tell you that it's right or wrong or not good enough or whatever. It's just solely up to you. It's for you and your pleasure only, so you can do whatever you want with it. I think that's good. Okay, so I'm gonna go wash my hands. Usually this dries so fast because it's such a thin layer, I probably won't even have to dry it. And then we'll do some clear gesso when I get back to just prep the page for the next step. Alright, as I suspected, my page is dry, so I'm going to grab my clear gesso and I'm just going to give the whole spread a coat of that, just prep that page for the other mediums and kind of seal everything in. And if you don't have clear gesso, you can use some matte medium, although they are different products. I feel like I repeat myself in all the videos, but I never know if somebody is new and they haven't seen the other videos. So yeah, the matte medium is a sealer and the clear gesso is a primer. So they do work differently and the products that you put on top of them will react differently. But either one will work. It'll just do different stuff, like I said. Okay, so there's one page. I'm just doing a pretty thin coat, but making sure to just cover the whole thing. So just doing a thin coat, it's going to help it to dry quickly, and you really don't need more than that. But I will have to dry this with a heat gun because it takes too long for me to wait because I want to continue and finish this video. So I will do that off screen. I'll just grab my heat gun and quickly heat this up. And you know, if you're doing that, you want to just keep it moving. You don't want to scorch your page, so just keep that heat gun kind of moving across your page and, you know, hold it back a good ways so you don't have any problems with, you know, ruining the page you worked so hard on. So I'll do that. Alright, so the pages are dry. I'm just going to tuck in some parchment paper to protect the other pages and keep those from getting kind of stuck together or inked up in any way. Okay. And then I thought I would try some gelatos today. These are the iridescents from Faber-Castell. I've actually never used gelatos before, even though they've been out on the market for a long time. So far in this journal, I've been using my Stabilo Woodies, which I really like. But I did get these with a gift card that my dad got me for Christmas, so I thought I would try them out. And I just picked out these three colors because I felt like they went really well with the page. This one is aquamarine, this one is canary diamond, and this one is jade. So I thought I would just kind of add a little bit of these and kind of have a play and see what they do. So I think I'm going to start with the blue one, and yeah, we'll just start adding them in and kind of smudging them around and see how they work. I really like how this blue water here kind of just brightens up the page, and there isn't very much of it over here, a little bit here, so I thought adding in a little bit might be nice. Just to have a bit more of that blue shade. This is my favorite color, so no surprise there that this is the one that I gravitated toward. So right now I'm just gonna add them with we'll add them with the tube and then kind of smudge them around. And so far they're working pretty much like the Woodies. There's not much difference that I can see other than these are supposed to be iridescent. Right now I don't see much iridescent, but maybe you have to lay it down a little bit thicker or something. We'll see. So we'll just add a bit here and there and kind of, like I said, just have a play and see how it goes. Let's try some of the jade color maybe. See how those two kind of, oh, this one looks more iridescent right off the bat. Maybe up here, since we've already got that green, we'll just kind of reinforce that. Okay. That's pretty. This one I can definitely see like a kind of like a pearlized shade almost instantly as I lay it down. The aquamarine I didn't feel like as much, but maybe in some places I can see it kind of reflecting the light a bit. But like I said, maybe you have to lay it down a lot thicker for that to really shine as well. We'll see. We'll tip it in the light when we finish up and see if we can catch a little bit of that sparkle. So now I'm going to take this canary diamond and just add that in a few places as well. I really like creating like a border that just pulls the eye inward into the scene. So that's what I'm going to start with. Maybe a little bit up here. Okay, I like that so far. Let's see where else I might want to add a little bit of color. Maybe a little bit in here, just touches of it. I know these have been around on the market a long time, so for a lot of you these probably is nothing new, but I don't know, I just never jumped on the bandwagon, probably because I wasn't doing art journaling, and as far as card making, I've always been a colorist. That's my favorite. So I don't know. I guess you could probably still use the gelatos to do backgrounds for your cards, but I just never did it. But yeah, they're pretty fun to use. They're really easy to use. I would say very similar to the woodies. I don't feel a lot of difference, but so they're both equally nice. That's cool. The gelatos do come in a ton of colors, so if that is, you know, like a selling point for you or whatever, you may want to go with those, but I do really like the woodies as well. Let's see, something in here. Just adding little touches of color here and there, kind of making it a bit more, I don't know, just cohesive in this color palette that I've chosen to go with here based on the pattern paper. Maybe a little bit on that side too. Okay. Let me have a think what else I might like to do. Actually, I'll have a little bit over here as well, just to kind of help that to blend in just a touch more. Like I said, I want you to see it, but I don't want it to be like pow in your face. I want it to be, you know, to make sense in the overall design. That's better. It's not so stark white. Okay, let me have a look at, see what I might like to do else. Okay, so I found this stencil from MFT. It is called the Confetti Stencil Set, card-sized confetti stencil set. So there are two parts to that one. This one I feel is a little bit too big, but this one has a few smaller dots, and I think I might add just a little bit of something, maybe just coming from the top two corners and not a ton. And I'm going to go back to the Lawn Fawn fairy dust that I used on the first page for January, because it's less noticeable, and that's kind of the look that I want. I don't want my scene to get too overpowered. So let's see. Where do I want that? I'm just going to add a little bit, kind of going down the side, and then maybe across the top a little bit. And unless you really highlight this by adding some color around it, it's not super noticeable, and that's what I like about this. I just want it to be like a subtle accent. So I'm going to lift that up. Okay. You probably can't see that very well, but maybe when I tip it into the light, you can kind of get a better idea. And do the same thing on this side. Just slightly higher. And I hear my youngest coming in from school. He doesn't know I'm filming, so I'm going to have to just let him know not to. Alright. I have to take him to work in a little bit, so it's a good thing we're almost done here, finishing up. Alright, so let's see how that looks. Okay. Like I said, it's just subtle, but that's the look I'm going for. So I'll lift that up so you guys can see it there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, I'm gonna go wash my stencil and my palette knife. Well, I think I'm ready to add a title, so let's go through and see what we might like to use today. I don't think I want to go with the travel theme, although there's a lot of good ones in here for that. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. That might be a good one. I think I am going to take the life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful, and the do your best. And I think I might use 3. I saw one down here. Look on the bright side. These might be good, just because I need to hear this message, you know? I might put the do your best over by the beavers, because that kind of goes with them. And then maybe the life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Put that one right here. And there we go. Do your best. Look on the bright side. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Anything else? Maybe also focus on what's important. You know, considering what lies ahead for me. Alright, so I'm going to grab a black gel pen. And I'm going to outline those a bit just to incorporate them a bit more in the page. I think those really fit with the beaver focal images. plus just everything that's going on for me, you know. Yeah, I'm preaching to myself here, so but I think it never hurts to hear this kind of message either, no matter what's going on in your life. I think it's can be helpful for lots of situations. So especially this last one, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful, because I've just been, you know, really down about everything and wondering how I can live a full happy life with all these restrictions, but life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful, so there's still a lot more out there. So anyway, all right, I think I want to do some splatters, so let me get that ready. So I'm going to use my Gansai Tambi Starry Colors, and I've mixed up this kind of middle gold shade here. And I'm just going to add some splatter detail just kind of here and there. Just tap it on my finger, which is going to give you some smaller size dots, which is kind of what I want. Alright, so all that's left is my date stamp. So I'm using the Ranger Archival ink because it's acid free and waterproof. And then I'm just going to change it to March. Oop. There we go. It's the 1st of March. I think I'm going to put it somewhere in here today. So I shouldn't need to put anything under the book to make sure it is stable, because it's on the thicker part of the book. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so that is going to complete my March spread. Here you can see all of that sparkle effect. And yeah, thank you guys so much for bearing with me today. I know there was like a lot of personal information today, but like I said, I just needed to talk, and I'm glad that you guys were here to listen. So thank you so much for being a shoulder, and I hope you guys enjoyed the page and found value in it as well, and I hope it inspired you to create an art journaling page of yourselves, for yourselves. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. Bye-bye.